slashing that took place in Lower Manhattan on last night, again, sometime around 11 o'clock, just after. If you're going to be with us at midday, and we certainly hope that you are, that Lisa Evers is going to be bringing us up to speed on that story there. Another headline that we're following, a third person has died from Legionnaire's disease. This outbreak has been going on in Harlem since July 25th. Now, nearly 70 people have been diagnosed with Legionnaire's disease. This is the third confirmed death, according to the Department of Health here. Why this is a big deal is because Legionnaire's disease, while it is not transmitted person to person, is transmitted through water droplets, and authorities here, health officials, have identified 11 cooling towers in the central Harlem area, impacting zip codes 10027, 10030, 35, 37, and 10039. Those zip codes here in central Harlem are the ones that are being impacted by this outbreak. Now, what you need to know is, and authorities are saying that they've identified 11 cooling systems, cooling towers that they believe it's being contained to, limited to. They do expect more persons to test positive for Legionnaires, possibly, so they're bracing for that. We certainly hope that there are any more deaths, but this is a very big deal. It's very important. And again, it's not spread person to person. It's actually spread through water.
Anyone need a levels check one more time?
Flu-like symptoms can impact the respiratory, so it feels like pneumonia. It's just a very, very, very severe and again potentially fatal case of a pneumonia-like bacteria. So you have to take that serious as well. The other thing, one of the stories that I'll be working on after I think about you is that Eddie Palmieri passed away. And if you're familiar with our vibrant Latino music scene, and Eddie Palmieri was a giant among giants. You know, there's Tito Puente, Desi Arnaz, Xavier Cugat, Eddie Palmieri, who actually worked with Tito Puente. He passed away. His record company was born in Spanish Harlem. He was 88 years old. So he's been around for a while, and pianist, avant-garde, like rumba music, that sort of thing, then he was your guy. And so, yeah, I'll be working on that story and be profiling his life and his legacy. He was the first Latino to win a Grammy Award. He also won an award, Grammy. Tito Puente, who I love. Our connection to Tito. But Tito won his first Grammy, for an album called Masterpiece that he did with Eddie. Palmieri. So certainly we're reacting to that because of the impact, that he had on that. Again, going over top stories there. If you have a question or a comment about one of them, please absolutely put that in our section. Now, one of the other things that's making news in regards to our mayoral race is developing. We're following this. Now, that's our Democratic nominee for mayor, Zoran Mamdani. Now, he is responding to allegations. There was an alleged phone call that took place between President Trump and independent mayoral candidate and former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo. Now, both camps are denying that such a call took place. Both camps, if they are polar opposites, which they certainly are if you know New York politics, why this is news is because the call may or may not have to do with how Mamdani is being perceived as not the proper candidate, depending upon what your views are, but a lot of people are just not, viewing him in that capacity. So it's interesting if this call, again, being denied by the Cuomo camp, being denied by the White House, took place, but, is what it is. It's it's up to us to look into it. But he's responding to allegations about that. Because he certainly has come, out of a landscape. He's a state representative right now, and he secured the nomination. New York voters, in the primary back in June, did in fact secure him as the person that they wanted to represent the Democratic ticket against Curtis Sliwa and all of the others who are now running. Mayor Eric Adams, Jim Walden is running as an independent, and again, ex-Governor Cuomo. So that's one of our big stories there. Again,
Antwan, you can toss to his clip right now.
All right.
We want to listen in.
Alex Meyer, my producer, says we have a clip queued up, so we will do just that.
this decision to get on the phone with Donald Trump has a significant and tangible impact on their lives and the lives of those that they serve. And as we stand here at Federal Plaza, I do so knowing that it's just blocks from here where I got my citizenship, where I was sworn in as an American in this city that I was raised in. And knowing that if Donald Trump is to act upon his threats to denaturalize me, it will likely take place right at this plaza.
Just muted him.
Okay. So again, he's responding. Zoran Mamdani, the Democratic mayoral candidate for New York City mayor, is responding to allegations of a phone call that supposedly took place between the president and former governor and mayoral candidate as an independent, Andrew Cuomo. Now, Mr. Cuomo's camp as well as Mr. Trump's camps both are denying such a call took place. What that call may have entailed, I'm not sure. A lot of the policies to which Mr. Mamdani ran on are not necessarily embraced by all of the electorate that will be choosing the mayor, you know, whether it's his positions with the police and the funding there, certain phrases that are viewed as not something that a New York City candidate should be saying or denying that he would say. A lot of controversial policies are certainly things that come with his candidacy for this particular office. Nonetheless, the voters chose this Mr. Mamdani as the candidate to represent the Democratic Party up against, again, those names that I just mentioned. So this is why this is a big deal. If you have a question, if there's a comment or anything you want to make, again, we encourage you to do that in our commenting section. Hello from, oh, okay. Hello, Seoul, Korea. Thank you, you know, for being with us and for joining us like on that. It's a little dark right now. I'll tell you why. Right before we went on air, I kind of was, there's a light that's right here, and I was in the process of trying to angle it, you know, just because, you know, we was a little dark in the newsroom, and I hit the wrong button, and Alex had to come over, and it was doing a whole bunch of different colors and stuff, but we didn't want to be too tardy to join you at 11:30, so that's what happened. That's the truth in it. So I'll try to scoot in a little bit closer, but that's what's going on there. Again, just going over our top stories, and again, I'll be talking about the weather as well. Police are looking for a suspect. Oh, Romania? Wow. Okay. We're going international at 11:30 today. Okay, we're very good, cool with that. Hello, Romania. Thank you. If you have a question or a comment also, then you absolutely are encouraged to do that as well. And we hope to see you in our city as soon as you can and you're able to travel. Hi, Dave Alter. I see you back there bumbling around. But
yeah.
oh, I did it because I moved the thing back.
Is that okay?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No.
Down a little bit?
Yeah, but I have to introduce you. You know who you are.
there you go.
So Dave Alter is adjusting the headroom because, again, like I told you, when I hit the button there, the remote control, when I hit the button, I was trying to adjust the light and turn the colors. See what happens?
Look, I got here and everything's fine. I apologize.
So Alex was trying to make it brighter also. While they're doing that, I'm just going to go ahead and recant the headlines that we were talking about.
Yeah, you want to try this out,
Yeah,
Dave?
Let me
So
do
you
it.
want
So
a
now
little more?
Dave's doing
Yeah,
that.
it's really dim.
Okay.
All right. As
Use
they're
your
working
line.
on that,
Yeah.
let's see. Again, a 29-year-old woman, the video of the man that police
Yeah,
are looking
absolutely.
for. Yeah,
Let's
see, now
get
it
that
went
queued up.
red. All right, so there's bright again. This is the suspect that police are looking for in regards to a stabbing that took place in Lower Manhattan last night. Now, around 11:10 at the Wall Street subway station, police say that a woman, 29 years old, was approached by this gentleman. He is the suspect that they are identifying, and he took her cell phone forcibly, displayed a knife, and she was stabbed on the left side of her body. The injuries right now appear to be non-life threatening, so very good news there, but nonetheless, police are looking for this person right there. If you have any information, if you recognize the individual, that's the number to call. You can also reach them through the X social media platform. The NYPD is on there as well. All tips are anonymous, so please know that. And absolutely, the only way the city is going to stay safe is if you see something, say something. So if you recognize this person, do that. Now, interestingly, this is the second similar incident to take place in our subway system, because the night before, on Tuesday night around 6:30 during the evening rush, police say that a 25-year-old woman was going down the stairs when a man approached her and stabbed her on the left side of her body, and some of her belongings were taken as well. Now that victim was taken to the hospital. Again, right now the injuries appear non-life threatening, so very good news for that as well. But police are looking for this individual with the stabbing incident that happened last night, and they're also looking for a suspect in the one that took place Tuesday. Question on your mind, are the two connected? That's a question that we're still trying to get answered by the police. Certainly they're reviewing all of that. They would let us know. But right now we have not received any information that would suggest to us that these two are connected. That of course could change. It's an investigation, it's ongoing, but nonetheless, if you recognize that individual, and you'll see it again, those images before we say goodbye to you in a little bit, then you are absolutely encouraged to call the authorities. Again, our other top story, a third person has passed away from Legionnaire's disease in Harlem. I can't stress this enough, why this is such a big deal. It involves the cooling towers that a number of buildings use. Health officials have identified at least 11 cooling towers that have been impacted. But the latest information that we got from health officials is that the outbreak has been contained. It's been limited to central Harlem and several zip codes, 10027, 3035, 10037, and 10039. If that is your zip code, and if you are experiencing flu-like symptoms, something doesn't feel right, and you know that your building has a cooling tower on the top of it, on the roof, then you are absolutely encouraged to call 311, and to report that information so that the health department can come and check that out. It's flu-like symptoms. It's a severe, potentially fatal form of pneumonia. And once again, it's been responsible officials say for 3 deaths, and at least 70 individuals have been positively confirmed, having tested positive for Legionnaires. I just found this out earlier. Apparently, Legionnaires has been an issue in New York going back to 1985. So that was when the city first started realizing that it had an outbreak, or cases reported, more than just one on its hands. So it's been something that the city has been on top of and dealing with, if you will, for a number of years now, since 1985. But flu-like symptoms impacting, of course, if you have pre-existing conditions, respiratory ailments, things like that. Health officials say that the outbreak, stemmed from nearly a dozen exactly cooling systems and has left 3 people dead. And again, as I just mentioned, 70 have been diagnosed. So if you have any sort of condition like that, if you know someone, if you have a loved one, who's in an older building, again, in those 5 zip codes, please check on them and make sure. Don't underestimate it. If it doesn't feel right, then definitely go and follow up with your physician about that. Okay, so sharing with you this, yesterday I did an interesting story. So in New Jersey, off of the Garden State Parkway, thank you, Alex.
Yeah.
All right, you're looking at Broad Street. Now, Broad Street is in Bloomfield. And what happens here, as you see, cars can go to the Connie Chung service area through this entrance. Now, this is the Broad Street entrance. That's how you get in to go to the rest stop service area. It's right there. The service area houses a Starbucks, Burger King. There's a gas station, a Sunoco is right there, as well as a Chick-fil-A. So for people who live in the area, they can go right into the service area, and generally they could leave. But a new traffic pattern has emerged. Highway officials in Jersey have rerouted it so that it is no longer one way in, one way out, which means that even the locals who go in, when they leave, they can't go back through Broad Street. They have to go back onto the Garden State Parkway and are subject to the toll that you saw right there. So this lady that you're looking at right there, her name was Cherise. This gentleman here, his name was Craig. But if you leave the Connie Chung area, you can't go back into your neighborhood. You have to get onto the Garden State Parkway and then exit. So we found out from the New Jersey Turnpike Authority, who manages and operates the Garden State Parkway, they told us that the reason why they put the pattern in place was because a number of people were exiting off of the parkway to avoid the toll and would just cut right through. Where you see this gentleman right there, I can't remember his last name, but his first name was Gamel, right there. You used to could go where the cones are and just leave, go in one way and go out. But the authorities are saying that a number of people were using it, trying to avoid paying the toll. So that's why they changed the traffic pattern. So it impacts you know, that whole community, a lot of people were upset, you know, about it, reached out to us. We went in to look at it, and that's actually what I was on yesterday, and that's in Bloomfield, you know. So these things happen, and again, the transit authorities, traffic authorities in New Jersey got back to us right away and told us not to match game. Really, Vito? Okay. Messing with producer Vito for Michael sitting behind me. His phone just went off. But so that's what happened there. And again, that was just that interesting because that was going on in New Jersey, and just a community type story. You know, people trying to figure out why could I go in one way and no longer turn around and come right back out. But that's what took place
Antwan,
on
you
there.
wanna play your package?
Oh, we can do that?
Yeah, we can
Sure.
do that now.
Hey, look at that.
We're
Alex
learning
is-
a lot about streaming.
and lighting apparently. So okay, Alex is going to play the story, and I'll see you right on the back end of it.
Yeah.
Bloomfield locals, Broad Street was a straight shot to the Connie Chung service area. One way in and one way out, or it used to be. The new traffic pattern now means that in order to leave, drivers must now get onto the Garden State Parkway and are subject to paying a toll.
I did not realize that. That's tea.
Are you comfortable with
Doesn't-
paying a toll to have to?
I mean, it's a little, you know, it's a little extra.
The service area houses popular businesses like Chick-fil-A, Burger King, and Starbucks, which some say is a whole lot easier to get to for those who live nearby. But a theory is emerging among many residents. Some believe the change was done because of Garden State Parkway drivers who are trying to avoid paying
Here's
a
the
toll.
Go ahead.
So that's the gist. Now, why we froze at the tolls is because the the transit turnpike authorities are telling us that people were using Connie Chung service area, you know, as a cut through, if you will, you know, trying to avoid the toll that was coming up, you know, and yes, it's illegal. I understand. You can see right there, it's $1.15, but whomever decided that they didn't want to pay that, then according to the New Jersey Turnpike Authority, that they were using the service area as a cut through just to get around that. So Bloomfield, you know, residents there were not so happy about it. You know, understandably, they just thought, hey, if I live across the street, I could just zip in and zip out. And that's no longer the case. The Turnpike, Authority also told us that the change went into effect about 3 months ago. So that was my story there.
By
As we said hello to South Korea, as we also said hello to Romania. Anyone else that want to say, oh, let me know where you're from. If you have a question or a comment about anything that you've seen us discuss so far, you're encouraged to do that. I also want to talk about the weather. We had a little bit of showers that moved through last night. Now, earlier this week, we were under an air quality index advisory because of the wildfires that were burning north of us. Now, as you take a look at the map, you can see right now we are clear. There are no colors other than what you're looking at right there. No greens, no yellows, which would significantly show precipitation and things like that. These are our highs. We're looking at the upper 70s right now. It feels really, really good. You know, the walk-in today was pleasant. The subway was not steamy and sticky like it can be during the summer months. You know, so definitely that. And then again, that's the cloud cover that's moving through with the futurecast. You can see we're having some clouds. The green in those clouds, that means precipitation. And thankfully, we're not having to deal with any of that at all, and we're shaping up to have a really, really good weekend as we move into August. Should you happen to be in Harlem on Saturday, we just want to let you know, I will be emceeing the Percy Sutton 5K Run Walk. It's part of Harlem Week, which is underway right now. If you've never heard of Harlem Week, it's actually like a month, but it started out as a week and they just never changed the name 50 years ago. But it is absolutely fun. It celebrates all things Harlem, the culture, the food, the impact, all New York City. It brings everyone together. And this 5K run walk has just tremendously grown. And it's also one of the, I don't want to call it a feeder to the marathon, but it's one of the qualifying, you know, events.
What is it like? If there's like a 5-1, like if you run 9 races of certain categories.
Exactly,
you gotta,
and this is one of those. So, but it's also a very, very fun time. There's a little bit of sadness, you know, with this year's event because Lloyd Williams was the one of the co-founders of Harlem Week. Again, it's been 50 years now, 51. And Mr. Williams passed away the night before last. He was 80 years old and just a great, great, great spirit. He was the past president of the Greater Harlem Chamber of Commerce. He was a friend of Fox 5, a partner with us. We are a media partner for Harlem Week and have been for a number of years. So personally, just sharing, when I came to Fox 5 15 years ago, he was one of the first ones when they asked me if I would MC the event, and I was like, okay, sure, wanted to, get connected with the city, and this was one of the ways. So he was kind of like a mentor, and not just then, meaning like throughout the years. And if you were to say, well, when's the last time you saw him? I went to vote, I think it was 2 years ago, and he was leaving the precinct because he lived in Harlem and I live in Harlem, and we were at the same precinct to go and vote. And I passed him then, and he was like, you need to call me, boy. And I hadn't talked to him in a while, usually doing things through text. I'll say, all right, Mr. Williams, I'll call you, which I did. And we played phone tag and talked about getting together. And according to the Chamber of Harlem, Greater Harlem Chamber of Commerce, he had a private battle with cancer, and that's what they are believing that's was his cause of death. So we're certainly extending our sympathies, because he was a great partner to our station. Our general manager Lou Leone and he were very good friends, and so yeah, that's just something. But should you just happen to be near 135th and St. Nicholas Avenue, that's where we'll be starting things off bright and early at 8. I have to be there at 7, because we're doing stuff, and the build up and the lead up to it. And if you get a chance, go to our website, because we're going to put information up about all of the Harlem Week events, and then you can go to their website as well to get that information also. Any more comments or questions, Alex? And you all know Alex, Alex. He's back here making sure I'm all right.
I know, I'm trying to hide.
Okay, Ohio. Now, is it beret, with the French version, or is it Beria, which, me and my Southern accent would pick up at some point, Virginia will kick in like that at some point. So hello to you, and I'm hoping I'm not mispronouncing your great city right there. I have an aunt who's actually in Cincinnati, so that's my tie to Ohio. Let me see. Anything else I want to talk about?
From Chopper. You want to check that out?
Yeah. What remote or ELC is that? We're gonna show you right here. All right. So look. So this is Sky Fox flying above Manhattan, and I'm trying to get let me put the glasses on. Yeah, and there it is in clear. That big patch in the middle, that's of course Central Park, if you're unfamiliar with our landscape here. And it looks like he's coming, let's see if I can guess where he is. All right, there's the Empire State Building right there off to the left. We have that there. So if he's flying this way, then this would be, that's the East River on the right. Over on that side. So. Yeah, that should be the east.
That's Queens right there.
There's
right?
Queens, right, and there's the bridges. Oh. Okay, all right. Well, so this is Jim, our pilot. So I guess Jim is deciding to change things up. But yeah, so this is like you're looking at the east side of Manhattan as it's moving lower down, getting into the lower side. Because yeah, there's the FDR. That's the drive. The FDR drive is right there. Going on there. It's one of our main arteries on the outside of the city that we could just take and get around in doing that. So yeah, and then you'll be seeing some bridges in just a moment, but yeah, that's Queens on the other side there a little bit. But yeah, so just another view to show you with what's going on here in the city. And we also want to remind you, one second, where is it, that if you, as we were also mentioning, that legendary musician Eddie Palmieri has passed away, and if you knew him, if you had a song, a favorite of yours, if you are unfamiliar with him, the rumba, he was a salsa legend, baby. So go and check it out. Go to whatever your source is, Amazon Music, Spotify, YouTube. However you are getting your music, then if you're unfamiliar with him, then go and check him out. He was born right here in the city in what we now call East Harlem, but it was historically known as Spanish Harlem, back in the day. So if you go to his Wikipedia page, you'll see that's why it's there, and that, like that. He collaborated with the great Tito Puente and a number, his brother also was a legendary musician as well, who since passed on a few years ago. But yeah, Mr. Palmieri was 88 years old, and rest in peace, and our condolences are also going to his family. If you're about to head out right now, it's a cool day. The clouds are there, but they are not as bad as they were. Thank you, Alex. And those are our advisories right now. You can see the air quality alert that we've been talking about from the wildfires that was impacting us earlier this week. Does not appear to be the case right now. Temps right now, 80 in Newark. Okay, Newark, you're a little warm, but pleasantly, I hope. You can see where we are, other parts, 77 in Islip, and in the upper 70s across everywhere else. And that's the change, the up and down in the temps as you are moving that. Futurecast right there, you saw the clouds are moving in, but no greens, no yellows, and thank goodness no reds, to have to worry about, which would really be that fuchsia color. That's the one. That one right there can be a situation for real. Let's see.
Yeah.
As we are nearing our time, I want to give you the 7 days. You're trying to plan your weekend. It's looking good. Sunday's that day. Whoa. So wait, next week, that means a heat wave, because if we have 3 straight days, well, I'm just delivering the information, Chad. It's like 3 straight days. He's like over there, don't say it. I'm like, well, you want it? Isn't 3 straight days of 90-degree temps, according to the National Weather Service, constitutes a heat wave. So that's interesting. Did you know that was coming up next week?
I did not. I was enjoying this weather so much that I couldn't even possibly think of a heat wave.
Okay, Mother Nature, she doing the most with this. Will be like the 3rd one? No, the 4th one. We just had one last week. That would be, I think that was the 2nd. So this, unless it changes, but that was like 4 days. That's like a extra heat wave. Put an S on it. On the S on it. You're almost out of time, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. Stay with us for Fox 5. Switch over now to watch our midday, and at 3 o'clock where we do our news block. And then be safe, be well. I'll see you again soon.